My name is Felipe Castañeda. As some people would probably say it, it's Felipe Castaneda, just because the pronunciation is a little hard. I grew up in Idaho Falls, Idaho, just 2 hours up north. I identify myself as Latino, as a Mexicano, just because both my parents are from Mexico. I'm married, no children yet, but that's definitely our plan in the near future, hopefully. Right now, I'm an exercise science major, but with an emphasis in pre-med. I hope to apply the fall of, or in a year from now, and hopefully get in 2 years. That's the goal. To be a first generation college student means it means a lot. It means a lot just in the aspect of feeling like, of knowing more than anything, of being somewhere where no one else in my family has had the opportunity to be, not because of lack of not trying or lack of not wanting, but just the opportunity hasn't been there. And I feel really fortunate to be there. But with that, just sometimes a lot of pressure. Reason I say that is just because my father, he went to 4th grade. My mom made it to 6th or 7th grade. And really when it comes down to me being able to write in Spanish, I can write better than them. I'm just so lucky, the way I say it, just so lucky to be where I'm at, to have the things that I have. So in a nutshell, first generation means everything. Mostly I would say that the biggest ones that I face is sometimes struggling to believe in myself. I mean, I consider myself to be, an intelligent, well-rounded person, but sometimes when taking physics, taking organic chemistry, and taking them at the same time and different things like that, I struggle with just believing in myself. But luckily I have a really, really supportive wife that has been there every step of the way. She doesn't give up on me. She hasn't given up on me, and I think when the time comes for me to do a residency as a doctor or get into medical school, she's gonna be the one that's gonna pull me through it at times, I think, because it'll be rough, but the obstacles will be there. I know that I can do it though. My first year at Utah State was great, but it was also a nightmare in some aspects. I felt super ready for it, just like everybody I'd imagine going into college feels, or I guess not everybody, but I personally, I felt really good into it. I started when I was 22. I turned 22 my first semester, my first week at Utah State, and I felt like I had it figured out. But I was taking biology 1610, I was taking a simple class, math 1010, and then a couple of the breath classes. But I failed. I failed one of my classes. I failed my math 1010 class, and it's embarrassing for me to even think about, for me even to talk about. But I wouldn't have it any other way. It really just let me, reflect on myself and let me do something that let me figure it out, to figure out how to overcome something that seems so small, with goals to be something so high, and then all of a sudden just feel like I couldn't even do anything. So it was a roller coaster, but definitely one of the best roller coasters that I could have been on to set me up for my future. When it comes to resources at Utah State that there is that I didn't know about, and I wish I would have known, it really just comes down to knowing that it's okay to look for help, to reach out for help. I mean, that's the first part. In high school, it's like you're almost frowned upon to go and ask your teacher for help, or to go and ask. You're almost looked at as like the dumb kid if you do that. And I think I had that mindset, that and a mix of stubbornness, where I thought, I can figure this out by myself. When really, if I would have known about the Math Tutor Center that's in the TSC, if I would have known about, that really SIs were helpful. If I would have known that, office hours aren't for the dumb kids, they're for the kids that want to succeed. If I would have just not been stubborn and really would have understood those things, then I don't know if I would have struggled as much as I did, because now I use those resources. Now as a junior in college, I use those resources daily. I mean, I email my professors constantly, all the time, asking about deadlines, asking about help, asking if I can come in. If their office hours aren't at the time that I need to go, then I email them and I say, hey, is there a time that works for you that can work for me? So it really just comes down to feeling like, just understanding that college is a place for you to get help. It's here to build you up. It's not here for you to not succeed, if that makes sense. So some of the extracurricular activities that I've had the pleasure of working in, my freshman year, I was involved in a club called Medical Unity. More than anything, it was a club that allowed different medical professions, whether it be PA, PT, physician, different things like that. We were able to come together, and we were able to, more than anything, learn how to apply for the different schools that we wanted to go to, or make ourselves more presentable, make ourselves better at looking for a job if it was going to help us, reach our ultimate goal to get into these schools. That's another one that I was involved in, or that I'm currently involved in. I'm in the President's Cabinet. We just recently finished USU United, and then our focus is just making sure that we tried to involve everybody. We released 4 videos, and in those videos it was primarily just to let everybody know that they were welcome at Utah State. And my favorite one that I'm currently participating in, just because I feel like it's more applicable to me, and I feel like I've been able to make a greater impact in it than anything, is I serve as the peer mentor coordinator and the Aggies for Aggies program. And what its focus is taking these first generation college students that are coming out of high school, or whether just being your first generation college students, and assigning them mentors, and really working with them, teaching them about, all these different places that they can go to get help, helping them get involved in these different organizations, or, just helping them have a social life, because that's also part of the college experience, to have a social life and to be involved. So I'm able to help out. I've been able to serve in those 3 things, and really try to give back to Utah State for everything that they have been able to give me. Literally, I can't help but smile when I think of what it means to be an Aggie, to come to Utah State University, to the school that I wanted to come to when I was in high school, and living a dream is the best way that I can explain it. It means more to me to be an Aggie, I think, because Utah State really gave me that opportunity. I think about the people that I met, Tad Sorensen, Vanessa Garcia at the time, now Vanessa House, but they gave me that opportunity when to come to Utah State, to offer me a scholarship, to accept me, and to just make it fit my plan, my goal. I took some time off when I went from high school to work and to serve an LDS mission, and they made it so I could come back and be an Aggie, and there's just so much that I can't really express it into words of what it means to me to be an Aggie, and because I get that feeling, that great emotion, to be so grateful for it, it just makes me want to give back. I want my kids to be Aggies. I want my grandkids to be Aggies. I love Utah State. I love Logan, and I love the education that I've got here, and I feel like really Utah State has helped mold me into the person that that I have the potential to become. Obviously there's other things in my life too that have helped me and that will continue helping me, but the university that I'm attending right now, being Utah State University, has helped me, and I know it's just not me. It can do it. It's capable of doing that for everybody if they want that for themselves. You know, general education, I think about that, and it makes me smile in the fact that I used to think it was kind of silly, like the breath classes that Utah State requires us to take, and it wasn't until I took a USU 1300 class, and it was offered by Dr. Lewis, and it really changed my mindset just because of what it taught me. It was a USU institutions. I mean, it was about the US, and it was more like a history class, but it offered and it let me understand the United States, which doesn't correspond with my degree, my goal of being a doctor, or at least I thought it didn't, until I was taking that class, and then I had a conversation with another person, you know, that wasn't attending Utah State, and I was able to relate, I was able to answer, I was able to communicate, I was able to look like an educated person, and it's I mean, just these different classes of general education, it makes us, or it requires us, and it allows us to not be ignorant to the things around us, which I think that being Latino, but not only being Latino, being American, it's something that is essential to the success of our country, to the success of the United States, is to have a general education, to have a broad education, and to understand not just some things, but try to expand your knowledge and understand a lot of things. I would just tell whoever is, you know, contemplating giving up, to know that they are not the only one that's ever been there. That everybody faces that obstacle, that challenge of wanting to give up. But the truth is, you can't give up. You can't give up. Coming to college is a risk. It really is. But like my dad told me, the man who never risked an egg never had a chicken. El hombre que no dio un huevo nunca tuvo un pavo. Nunca tuvo una gallina. And it's going to be a risk, it's going to be a challenge, but ultimately if you don't do it, I mean, the fact is college is hard, the fact is life is hard, but the truth is, if college was easy, everybody would do it. And if you start, then you have to have a why, you have to have a reason. My reason is for my family, to live up to the expectation that my father has, to live up to the expectation that my mother has, to really accomplish, you know, everything, to not let their sacrifices be in vain, of you know, coming to the United States, hoping that their children will have better futures. And for me to give up, it's like a slap in their faces. I mean, they didn't give up, you know, getting up in the morning when it required them to walk to work, when they didn't have a vehicle, you know, 5 miles. When it requires them to, my dad's still working in a potato warehouse. You know, 30 plus years, still manual labor, doesn't sit in an office. My mom works as a lunch lady, and you know, they didn't give up. Who am I to give up? It doesn't make sense. It's not right. So when you think about giving up, look at everybody that's came before you, and if you're not motivated, let them be your motivation.